What is up, everybody? Hope all is well. Today's topic: why you do not need to be a carpenter to build your very own van. Yes, guys, I am a professional carpenter. I've been a professional carpenter my whole adult life, but I want to tell you guys, you don't need all these skills to start building your own van. Did having carpentry skills help me with this van build? Of course it did. But that being said, I've definitely seen a ton of do-it-yourself van builds online that are pretty freaking awesome. And here's my biggest point for today's video. I think some of you guys out there might be a little scared to move forward with your van build because you don't think you have enough skill to do it. And when it comes to building your very own van, I think function is much more important than perfection. And simplicity goes a long way as well. And even for myself, as a lifelong professional carpenter, you know, I like the simple route as well. I want to get out on the road and have some fun, not spend a year building a van. So some of the choices I made to simplify this build, well, I did not insulate this van. If you are a fair weather traveler, if you're gonna stay generally between 30 degrees and 90 degrees, I would look into not insulating your van. Another choice I made to make things a little bit more simple, I did not install a Maxx Air fan. Now, even me, as a professional carpenter, I'm pretty confident I could install a Maxx Air fan and have not many issues. But also, as a professional contractor, I've seen a million leaks. Here's one thing I definitely know. When you cut a hole on a flat roof and you install a vent or whatever it may be, there is a high probability of some leaks forming in the future. If somebody doesn't have a whole lot of skill when it comes to craftsmanship, I don't think I would recommend that they try cutting a hole in a metal roof. Again, if you are a fair weather traveler, if you're in more extreme conditions, you might want to figure out how to get that done. But I just want to say, sometimes when you're building your very own van without a whole lot of skills, sometimes less is definitely more. Sometimes when you start thinking about building your own van, you get online and you see everybody putting insulation everywhere. You see people cutting holes in their roofs, installing Maxx Air fans. You see solar units being put in. I'm here to tell you, if you're trying to get out there on the road and have some fun, a lot of that stuff is not necessary. Just jumping in here real quick, just so you guys know, I did make a video about why I did not insulate my van, and I also made a video why I did not install a Maxx Air fan. I will leave those links down below in the description. As a carpenter, yes, I built my own bed. That being said, honestly, there are a ton of different options you can do when it comes to getting a bed in your van. I've been out furniture shopping the past couple weeks for the house here, and I've seen a lot of cool items that would work for a van bed. One tool you might want to make yourself familiar with when you're doing a van build, do it yourself, is at least learn how to work a tape measure. Now, as a carpenter, I have items like this in my van. This was a pre-made cabinet. It is a upper cabinet for a kitchen. So I didn't build this thing. I bought it like this and I painted it white. This center cabinet right here, which is under my bed, well, I did not build this unit. I bought this unit. Works great, 5-drawer system, and I built the bed frame around it. There's a lot of cool stuff like this. This is a seat. Also has a ton of storage. I don't know, Wayfair, something like that. We got 2 of them, one on each side. That's the table here, just slides out. Thank God for these things. I almost planned on building permanent benches here. That would have been a huge mistake. These things are definitely the way to go. No building necessary. And the options for stuff like this, these plastic drawers are endless. I mean, you can buy this kind of stuff anywhere. All different kinds of sizes. Velcro, bungee cords, Gorilla Tape. Those things can be your best friend. And you definitely don't need no fancy solar power when you can just buy one of these. Jackery. No, I am not sponsored by Jackery, but I should be. We actually use these all the time. This one runs the refrigerator, and there's a little one tucked behind here that runs the lighting. And of course, there's always the option of learning a little bit yourself. There's definitely plenty of tutorials on the internet, especially right here on YouTube. There are tons of woodworking videos. There are a ton of van building videos. And I'm sure there's plenty of safety videos on how to learn how to use these tools properly. And honestly, I definitely want to encourage safety because I do watch a lot of these do-it-yourself videos and I see a lot of unsafe practices going on. And frankly, it gets kind of scary. Sometimes I'll be watching somebody cut something on a table saw on YouTube and I just kind of cringe. And I'm just hoping they make it through that project with all their digits left. But here's the thing, guys. You want to start building your own stuff? Well, you got to accumulate tools to do it. And here's a small problem with new carpenters and do-it-yourselfers. They will sometimes buy cheaper tools. And as a professional carpenter that has used all different kinds of tools, when you're using builder grade tools and then you switch to a cheaper tool, you definitely notice the difference. So if you use this Milwaukee drill for any amount of time and then you try using this, it is a world of difference. I don't necessarily want to hate on Ryobi tools. They've been pretty decent over the years for me, but it seems like the more modern versions are getting cheaper. And frankly, this drill is kind of dangerous. The bits kind of slip out of it, and there's been a couple times I almost impaled my hand with that thing. So I understand, guys, these kind of tools are a bit more expensive, but here's the thing. When you're a new carpenter, it's hard enough to learn as is. And when you're trying to learn on cheap tools, it makes it that much harder. Here are some of the basic tools you need. Maybe as a beginning carpenter, you're gonna want a circular saw, gotta have a good drill, maybe an air nailer, not totally necessary. Jigsaws definitely come in handy. You want a sander to make sure your pieces are all nice. A tool belt to have all your hand tools. That's nice to have. Pencils and squares and knives. Again, I said it earlier, I think, but this is a tool you definitely want to learn how to use. And if you don't want to learn how to use any of those tools, it's perfectly fine. That's when this one becomes really important. Because if you start looking for pre-made bed frames and shelves, stuff you can just move into your van without building, you want to know that they're going to fit. So I just want to encourage you guys, go ahead and build your van. Use the skills that you have. If you want a perfectly built van, maybe this video isn't for you. This is kind of encouraging people to go ahead, build a van, and get the heck out on the road. And if you don't have the skills, you don't have the tools, and you don't want to learn, maybe you can ask a friend that has some carpentry skills to help you out. Another option, I don't think it's a bad option, as I live in a small town and I am a local carpenter. A lot of people call me to help them out. So maybe you can find a local carpenter for hire that doesn't charge too much. I know for me, as a local carpenter here, it was always enjoyable when you got to do something a little bit different than the standard carpentry stuff. So you might reach out to a local carpenter and they might jump on the chance to work on a van. And of course, I get it. Maybe you don't have the money. Well, maybe you can barter your time. The point is, you don't have to wait around until you're an expert. Otherwise, you might be waiting a very long time. The most important thing is building a van that gets you out on the road. It's not about having the perfect cuts, unless of course that's your thing. In the end, yes, I am a carpenter. It came in very handy in building this van, but what really makes this van work is the simple choices that I made. I almost want to say, don't overthink the build. At the same time, I think you should definitely put some thought into it. Like I said, get in your space, kind of feel it out, learn how to work that tape measure. And I think for this van build, I actually had some random cardboard boxes laying around, and I would kind of use those to mock up furniture. Then I could kind of see how everything would look and function. So that's a little tip you can use. In the end, do the best you can with the skills that you have. And if you have to ask somebody for help once in a while, that's okay. Most importantly, just enjoy the ride. And that's gonna do it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video, but I got stuff to do. I'm sure you do too. We will see you all next time.